3 seasons, hundreds of players, only one game-changing champion. But which season delivered the most shocking betrayals, the bloodiest games, and the greatest twist in the series? One broke records, one broke hearts, one broke everything we thought we knew. And now, it's time to answer the question every fan has been asking. Which Squid Game season truly won? Season 1 hit Netflix like a storm in 2021. In just a few days, it was being watched in over 94 countries, and by the end of the first month, 142 million households had tuned in. That's more than most Hollywood blockbusters. And it wasn't just numbers. This was the birth of Gi-hun, player 456, a man drowning in debt who would go on to outwit 455 others in one of the most brutal psychological journeys ever put on screen. The most iconic game? Easily red light, green light. It was the first test, and the deadliest. Hundreds fell in seconds, shot down by a robotic doll whose face would haunt dreams worldwide. But beyond the gore, there was emotion, Sabyok's quiet strength, Ali's heartbreaking loyalty, and Gi-hun's final act of mercy. This wasn't just survival, it was storytelling at its finest. After 3 long years, Season 2 arrived in 2024. The world was ready, but the story wasn't. Although it racked up 126 million views and hit #1 in 92 countries, many fans felt the soul was missing. The pacing was slow, the stakes felt thinner, and the characters less personal. Still, some moments stood out. The new twist? Voting. A fake democracy where players had the illusion of choice, only to realize the game was still rigged. And then there was Gi-hun, pregnant, scared, and still fighting harder than anyone else. Her journey was emotional, raw, and arguably the most human part of the entire season. But in the end, fans called it a sophomore slump. The magic just didn't return. Then came the finale, Season 3. With a $100 billion budget, Netflix went all in. And it showed. Within 2 weeks of the teaser release, the trailer had over 19 million views. Critics praised its bold storytelling. It landed an 89% Rotten Tomatoes score, the highest of all 3 seasons. But this wasn't about spectacle. This was about Gi-hun's redemption. Now a hollow man, broken by the rebellion he couldn't lead, haunted by the friends he couldn't save. The games? Insane. From a starlit labyrinth to Squid Game, where players shoved each other off 100-foot pillars. It was the most dangerous, the most unpredictable, and without question, the deadliest game of the entire series. But here's the twist. While critics called it the smartest and most self-aware season, audiences were divided. The darkness was heavy, the tone, relentless. The audience score fell to just 45%. So now the million-one question: which season was the most successful? No contest, Season 1. It holds the title for most watched Netflix show ever, and helped sell out everything from Vans sneakers to Korean language courses. Which game was the deadliest? That's Season 3's Squid Game. Part fight, part fall, part nightmare. Which season do fans love most? Still Season 1. The characters, the pacing, the heartbreak, unmatched. And the best player each season? Season 1 gave us Gi-hun, who rose above greed. Season 2 spotlighted Gi-hun, whose courage moved us. Season 3 surprised us with Gi-hun, the underdog who never gave up. But which season is truly the best? If you ask critics, Season 3 wins, smarter, darker, and deeper. If you ask fans, Season 1 still reigns, unforgettable, emotional, and real. But in truth, each season was a game of its own. Season 1 changed the world. Season 2 questioned it. Season 3 finished it. And reminded us that even in death games, the real battle is for humanity. Squid Game is over, but its legacy, that will never die. So what about you? Which season hit hardest? Which player earned your respect? Drop it in the comments. Smash that like button if you survived to the end. And subscribe for more stories that cut deeper than any game.